start on our back. Feel free to have your knees bent or straight, whatever feels best. And we'll take a moment to just place one hand on your belly. As you breathe in, just see if you can feel your belly rise. And then as you breathe out, feel your belly lower. Maybe this is a natural breathing pattern for you, or maybe it feels a little bit awkward. This is what we call our diaphragmatic breathing, where we feel the rise and fall of the belly. As we go through the class, I invite you to breathe in through your nose if that's accessible, and breathe out through nose or mouth. Either way. Continue with a nice relaxed breathing. Got a couple more people who will bring in. As we go through class, I invite you to make this class what you need it to be for your own body. Feel free to take a break if you need a break, or to hold things longer if you want to make it more challenging. Respecting each individual body and the journey that you took to get here. So just taking an opportunity to check in with your physical body. And then maybe even check in mentally where you're at. Your energy levels. Taking in all the surrounding sounds. Allowing you to be fully present as we go through the class today. If our knees are out straight, let's go ahead and bend our knees. And we can take the right knee and draw it into your chest. If it feels okay, you can take your left leg out straight. And then now with your right knee drawn in, we can switch our grip around the right thigh and just reach your right foot up towards the ceiling and you mount. Maybe it feels nice to take a little ankle pumping here. You don't have to straighten the knee all the way. You can stay slightly bent. And then let's go ahead and draw that knee in, hugging both knees to chest. A little side to side wiggle here. And then we're going to keep hold of our left leg and take the right leg out straight. Then reaching around the left thigh, we can take the left foot up towards the ceiling, maybe take a little ankle pumping here. And then let's bend that knee and take both knees, hug them into the chest, a little side to side rock. And then we're making our way from here to our feet planting on the mat with the knees bent. And let's try pressing into a bridge, lifting the hips. If this is uncomfortable on your back, you're welcome to keep the hips down and just squeeze the glutes. And then let's lower the hips back down. This time, gently press the small of your back towards the mat. And we can reach the arms up overhead with the palms facing each other. And just reach them back as far as they want to go. So we're taking a little shoulder mobility exercise here. And then the arms can come back down by your sides. Now if you'd like to, we can combine the bridge and the arm lift. On the inhale, lifting the hips, and on the exhale, you can lower the hips, but you can take hips and arms together. So moving at your own pace here, just maybe take a few of these, lifting in bridge and lifting the arms, and then lower bridge, lower arms. Beginning to activate our thigh muscles and our glutes, warming up the shoulders. Maybe we'll take one or two more. And then we can hug knees into chest again. A little side to side wiggle just to release any tension in your low back. And then from here, let's make our way to a side of choice, and we're going to come up to hands and knees. So if you want to roll to your side and then make your way to hands and knees, you can. If at any point, hopefully the doubled up mats will help with your knees. So we're going to face this way with hands and knees. So that way everybody's all facing the same way. There you go. I know it gets a little confusing. That way when I say right and left, we won't all get confused. All right, so facing me with your hands, we're going to take, so if you want to keep spinning to face me, then your hands are on the mat. You got it. Tightening belly muscles here. Let's take the right leg and slide it back. Yeah? And then from here, option to keep it down, or you can lift it if you'd like to. And if you want to, you can add the left arm lifting in front. If it feels better to keep both arms down, that's absolutely an option. And then let's swap sides. So drawing your arm and leg in, now slide your left leg back. Option to keep it down, or you can lift it and add the right arm. And then back in. One more time each side. Right leg, left arm. And back in. Left leg, right arm. And back in. From here, we can do some cat and cow. So with our cat and cow, on the inhale, we're gonna gently drop the navel towards the mat. On the exhale, we're rounding the spine like a cat stretching. So feel free to move at your own pace here and just kind of explore that motion with the spine bowing and flexing in that range of motion that you feel comfortable with. Maybe you start to feel like, oh, one area is moving a little more than the other. Just see what you can observe. And then as we're finishing up with that, we can take knees a little bit wide and the heels coming together, rocking our hips back for a child's pose. Now let's say this is uncomfortable on hips or knees, you can keep your hips a little higher. If it's pinchy in the shoulders, just rest through your forearms if that feels better. Otherwise, you can stretch your fingers out and rest your forehead down. Breathing in, breathing out. And then let's make our way up to hands and knees. We'll make our transition up to standing, and we usually do this through down dog. And if you find that down dog is not comfortable and you want to skip that, that's totally fine. Just meet us in standing when you're ready. Otherwise, we're tucking toes, lift the knees, and press the floor away from your hands. So you're shifting your hips back, and the knees can stay slightly bent. And then we're walking our feet towards our hands, bending through the knees. And this is where, as we're hanging down and feeling a stretch, if you have blocks in the floor, if it feels like it's too far away, it's a great place to have those blocks because then they just bring the floor a little higher. If you're not having any trouble reaching the floor, no worries. The blocks can be a support if you choose. And so from here, let's bend the knees a little more generously. We're pressing the floor away from our feet and rising up to stand. Take a reach and arms to heart center. Super. Let's find the top edge of the mat. So if we're kind of back on the mat, we can shimmy forward a little bit. And from the top edge of the mat, arms to heart center. We're gonna step your right leg back and find a high lunge. And with that lunge position, the back heel is lifted. Now those of you that have a few mats, it might make the balance stuff a little harder, just recognize that. So your right leg is the one behind you. If this is uncomfortable, you can always take that back heel down, okay? Option to keep the arms down, or we can lift the arms. And then we're finding a sense of relaxation through our neck muscles, our jaw, as our body is balancing and the legs are strong. Making sure we're breathing here. And then arms can come to heart center. We transition our hands down towards the floor or the blocks if you want to use those as a little in-between stopping point. And then option to stay here, or you can plant your right hand and lift your left arm for the twist. And then we're untwisting. We're gonna give a good push off that back leg and bring it on in to meet the front leg. There you go. Just take a little side to side hip wiggle. Make sure you got both feet equal underneath you. And then bending your knees, let's rise to stand. A nice reach upward. We're gonna sink into a chair pose here. In chair pose, we're hinging at the hips. We just want to make sure that we can still see our toes, that our knees are not going past the toes. If we're taking care of knees, we can stay up a little higher with it. If we want more sensation through our thighs, we can go a little lower with it. And then rising to stand. This time stepping your left leg back, we're going to find our high lunge on this side. So left leg back. Again, feel free to adjust. If it's uncomfortable, you can put your back leg all the way down if you prefer the heel down. Arms can stay down or you can lift them. Finding your breath here. Strong legs and an upward energy through your fingertips if they're lifted. And now arms to heart center. We're going to reach down towards the mat or blocks as a stepping point. Option to stay here if you like, or plant your left arm and then the right arm can lift. And then we're untwisting. Giving a good push off that back leg. Let's draw it on in. And then we're gonna make our way to chair pose again. From our chair pose, let's wiggle the feet all the way in. So they're all the way together. And we can stay here. If you'd like to, you can add a twist. I'm gonna mirror you. So if you'd like to twist towards your left first, you can stay high with that. Or you can go a little lower, elbow towards outer thigh. Back to center, regroup, keeping our pelvis facing this direction and twisting towards the opposite side now. Back to center, all the way to stand. Let's take a reach. Just let the arms float down by your sides. Let's shrug the shoulders all the way up. You can relax your legs, by the way, if they're still together. Have them hip distance apart. Let's take shoulders up to ears, roll them back and down. Nice job. And then letting them settle in that down position, chin to chest. A little neck stretch here, and back to center. And let's turn the head one direction, and And then the other direction. And back to center. Nice work. Finding the top edge of the mat. Let's take arms to heart center. We're stepping the right leg back to warrior one. So back heel is down this time and the toes are out just a little bit. Option to keep your arms here or take them overhead. So from that warrior one, front knee is bent, back knee is nice and strong and straight as it'll let you go. And we're breathing. From here, we can take your right arm and let's bend the elbow like you're reaching for your shoulder blade in the back. Left arm can just add a little pull here. Maybe you feel a stretch in your shoulder, maybe in the front of your hip. If you were traveling yesterday, that might feel quite nice. You can also add a little lean to your left if you'd like to feel more sensation of stretch. And then let's release both arms back overhead or to heart center. Breath in, breath out. And then we're going to transition into a little balance move here. So coming to the ball of your right foot, we're going to shift that weight onto your left leg. And then you can lift your right knee up in front, or let's say that feels like it's a bit much. You can pause and grab your block, and then your right foot can rest on your block as an option. So whatever feels like it's working for you, we'll have options here. And then the left hand can reach for the right knee, and the right arm can reach out to the side. And you can do this with the foot on the block too. Option to hold here, or add a twist towards your right. And then we're slowly unwinding. Arms to heart center. Let's step that right leg back to find warrior one again. Breath in, breath out. And then from here, let's go ahead and we're gonna reach down towards the floor or blocks. Stepping that right leg in to meet the left leg. Bend your knees to help you. We'll take just a little wiggle with the hips, let the hamstrings, the back of the thighs stretch. And then from here, we can step back to plank, or if you want to take a break, come down to hands and knees, either way. So stepping back to plank, or you can take a child's pose if you prefer, or you can just take a rest, either way. Kneeling plank is also an option. And then we'll come onto your left arm for side plank. And we have the option to take your bottom knee down here if you'd like to. So we can have it be a supported side plank facing that way, or a full-on side plank, or anything else that your body wants to try. We'll come back through center, and then over to the other side. Again, you can take full side plank, or you can have it be the kneeling supported side plank. And back through center, pressing back to down dog. Breath in, side out, breath out. And then let's walk our feet towards our hands, bending through the knees, rising up to stand, taking a reach, arms to heart center. Take a pause. How we doing? Everybody surviving? I love it. All the different variations are wonderful, you guys. Make this class what you need it to be. Absolutely. So keep it up. Let's step your left leg back. We're going to find warrior one. Back heel down, toes are out a moment. Option to keep the arms down, or you can lift them either way. Breathing in, breathing out. And then from here, we can take our little stretch like we did on the other side. So if you bend your left elbow, reach for your back. Your right arm can help pull it back a bit. And then option to hold here or add a little bend towards your right. And then releasing the arms. Breath in, breath out. We'll move into that balance that we did on one leg. So taking arms to heart center. We can come to the ball of your left foot. So we transition that weight forward onto your right leg. And then left leg can come to block, or you can lift the left knee. So if you want to have a little extra support, left toe can rest on the block. Yep. And then you can certainly hang out here if that feels good, or add the reach with your right arm towards left knee, left arm out to the side. Option to hold here, or add the twist towards your left. Eventually unwinding, and we're stepping your left leg back, warrior one. Nice work. Don't worry, we'll skip the planks this time. Arms to heart center. Let's step the left leg in to meet the right leg. And we're gonna take either one or both arms up. If you're taking care of shoulders, feel free to just take your left arm up, and it'll make sense here in a minute. So either both arms or one arm, we're gonna lean that direction towards your right. And as you do so, feel your left heel and foot planting firmly. Back to center, over to the other side. This time your right foot is the one that you're feeling planting. And back to center. Let's bend the knees and fold forward to floor or blocks. Let the head relax for a moment. Just let it dangle. And then we'll soften the knees a little bit more, pressing up to stand, taking a reach. Arms to heart center. Stepping your right leg back, we're gonna find warrior one. But we won't be here for long. This is just a little transition pose. From our warrior one, we're gonna spin to your right, facing that way for warrior two. So your left knee will be bent and your right knee will be out straight. There you go, good. And if you look at your left thigh, so the left thigh is gonna be the one that's bent. You want your toes going the same direction as your left thigh, so towards me. Yeah. Pausing, breathing in, breathing out. Arms can come right out to the sides. So you can switch and have this knee bend and that knee go straight. So just flip your warrior. There you go. So those toes are going to face this way. Those toes are coming this way. Those toes are going that way. There you go. Beautiful. And now let's reverse the warrior. So your right arm can reach down towards your leg. So right arm reaches down towards your leg. Left arm reaches up. And we're keeping that left knee bent. Then from here, let's come back to our warrior two with that left knee bent. And then we're taking left elbow towards left thigh into what's called side angle. And the right arm is reaching up. So left elbow towards thigh, side angle. Seeing if we can find length all the way down that right side of your body. Tucking the tailbone a little bit. And then back up to warrior two. Then straightening your left knee. We're going to turn palms up. Shift your body left. And then tilt downward towards that leg. Tucking the tailbone again. We're getting some rotation through your rib cage here. As we come out of this, let's bend your left knee, press back up, warrior two. Then arms to heart center. Now we're gonna pivot to face this direction again. So just keep on spinning here to face this direction. We can reach down for the floor, and then just lower your back knee for a stretch. Now this is another nice place if you want to use some blocks. Let's say your hips don't want to go that far down. Use the blocks to help you have some support a little higher up too. Or maybe you want to fold your way down even further. This is going to be different for each person. We can hold this, or you can take both hands on the inside of your left leg, and then let your left knee fall out to the side any amount. And you're going to get credit for thinking about it, even if it doesn't move, because I'm sure you're feeling it, right? Are we sweating a little yet? It's nice and humid, isn't it? Awesome job. Now shifting our way back towards that back leg. You can help the left leg underneath you, finding hands and knees. We'll make our way through down dog to standing, or you can come straight to standing, however you would prefer to do so. Either way. If you want to go through down dog, great. Walking the feet forward, bending the knees, all the way up to standing, taking a reach. Arms to heart center. Let's pause for a moment. If you're comfortable closing eyes, I invite you to do so. Feel the breeze. Feel your feet grounding you on the mat. Find your breath. Find your sense of center and balance. Opening eyes. If we're towards the back of our mat, feel free to kind of shift forward a little bit towards the front edge of the mat. We're going to step your left leg back this time to find warrior one. And now this will be a stepping stone, a transition move, and then spin left to find warrior two. So this time the right knee will be bent, right toes are in the same plane as your right thigh. Left toes are facing straight in front of you. Yep. Wonderful. So warrior two now on this side. Letting the shoulders sink away from the ears. Let's reverse the warrior. So your left arm is going to reach down towards your left leg. You're tilting towards the tennis courts. Right arm can reach upward. Breathing in, breathing out. And then back through, let's find warrior two. Now we'll shift into that side angle. So right elbow towards thigh, your right knee is bent. Right elbow is towards thigh, right knee is bent. Left arm can lift any amount. And we're finding that rotation through the rib cage, tucking the tailbone. Can you connect all your body parts with your breath while you're in this position? And then press through your right foot to help you back to warrior two. We're going to straighten that right knee, turning palms up, shifting your body towards me, and then down for triangle. Tucking the tailbone. Breathing in, breathing out. And now bending your right knee, let's come back up to warrior two. Arms to heart center. So from here, we're going to pivot to face me. So with that left leg behind, we're going to pivot to face this direction. We're reaching down for floor blocks, lowering your back knee to find that stretch that we did on the other side. Again, if you want to use your blocks, you can, to keep your hips a little higher. Or maybe you want to take both hands on the inside of your right leg and let your right knee fall out any amount. Just breathing into this stretch, meeting your body where it's at. And then we're gonna shift our way towards that back leg. You can help your right leg underneath you, back to hands and knees. And let's try another child's pose here. So the knees can come wide-ish, heels together, rocking your hips back any amount. You can rest through forearms or you can stretch your arms forward, either way. Find a couple deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. And then shifting our way back up to hands and knees. And let's go ahead and find a seated position with your left leg out to the side. So I'm gonna mirror you. I'll do the opposite unless I get confused, and then you're welcome to correct me. Your left leg is out, your right leg is kind of tucked in here. Finding a tall posture through your spine. Maybe you even rock a little from sit bone to sit bone just to get that pelvis squared up. And then reaching towards your left leg, any amount. Option to keep your right arm just resting on your leg, or you can reach that arm up and over. With our stretching here, just trying to connect your whole body with your breath. That might mean we have to back out of the stretch a little bit. Or if we're finding that we're tolerating it, we stretch further. Whatever is working for your body. And then we're gonna flow for a moment to the other side. So reaching with your right arm, with your arms, keep your legs where they're at. Your right arm can plant. Let's just take a little counter lean here. It might feel kind of nice. And then maybe we go back and forth a couple more times. Super, back to center. Let's change legs. So right leg out. Tucking your left leg in. Again, take that opportunity to first find your tall spine, little side to side rock, feel your pelvis equal, and then we're reaching for that right leg. Then we can take a little back and forth if you'd like to, reaching the right arm up and over. Nice job. And back to center. From here, let's go ahead and take both legs in front of us, about hip distance apart. And this will be different for everybody because it's some hip mobility. So it might be quite easy for some and it might be quite difficult for some. So just meet your body where you're at. Arms can come out to the sides and we're sitting real tall. Let's let your knees fall to one side. You can kind of lift your opposite hip and then to the other side. So we're taking just a little back and forth mobility. We're saving the headstands for another day, you guys. I'm just kidding.
Can you do one?
That's a different class.
You can.
Back to center, in case you're wondering what's next. It's not splits and it's not headstand. All right, super job. Let's roll onto our back, and we're gonna do a couple more things on our back. So feel free to find your way to your back. From our back, let's take the right leg. We're gonna cross it over the left leg, like our eagle leg position for some that know yoga. You're hugging your thighs together, yep? And so once that right leg is crossed over, let your knees fall to the left. You can take your arms out to the sides if you'd like to. The knees then just fall to the left. And once we're here, find a little breathing. allowing your body to relax into this stretch. If it's uncomfortable, you can take a block and place it underneath your left thigh to support it a little bit. Otherwise, tuning into your breath for a moment. As you breathe in, feel the belly rise and the rib cage expand, and then back out. With the breathing, just exhale, relax, release. Let's try one more breath that way, still with the knees over to the left. So breathe in, the belly rises, rib cage expands, and then the exhale. And now drawing your knees back to midline, let's hug both knees to chest for a moment and just take a little side to side rock as kind of a little reset. And then changing legs. Crossing your left leg over your right leg, and then letting your knees fall towards the right. Here too, if that's uncomfortable, or you want a little support, take a block, prop it underneath your right thigh to help you. If it feels okay on your shoulders, take them out to the sides with the palms up. And then here too, we can take a few breaths. On the inhale, feel the rise of the belly and the expansion of the rib cage. On the exhale, the reverse. Connecting all your body parts with your breath. And then coming back to center, let's hug both knees to chest again. And then we're gonna go back to the one we did at the very beginning, which is our bridge with our arm lift. So placing the feet down, just check in if you remember what it felt like at the beginning. Lift your hips, lift your arms, just see if things feel maybe a little bit different now. And back down. Let's just take 2 or 3 of these as you would like to. Relaxing through your neck. And then as you're finishing up with that, we can take our butterfly stretch. Feet together, knees wide. And as you're holding this position, feel free to, if you have any low back discomfort, just gently push the small of your back towards the floor. And sometimes that little pelvic tilt can help relieve any discomfort. Otherwise, we're tuning into our diaphragmatic breathing here again. As you inhale, feel the rise of your belly. As you exhale, feel the belly lower. Perhaps you can see if you can lengthen the exhale as compared to the inhale. And as you do so, work to relax through the hip creases, the pelvic floor, all the way up towards your jaw, your neck. With each exhale, directing a sense of relaxation in the areas that you can target. And then drawing our knees towards each other. Let's take a little side to side windshield wiper motion with the knees. And then take a moment, if there's any other stretches that your body is craving to do, just take a moment to do a stretch or check in with your body. And if not, just meet us in Shavasana with your knees bent or straight on your back or on your side if you prefer. I invite you to close your eyes and just bring your awareness back to your breath. So this is a moment just to bring everything back around from beginning to end for your body. I'm sitting because it's easier for me to talk and have my voice project. You are welcome to take any position you would like to. Drawing your awareness back to your physical body, let's take a head to toe or toe to head check-in. In your mind's eye, just go from one end of your body to the other. Don't get stalled on any part. Keep moving. And once you've made it through the whole body, then bring your awareness to your breath. And bringing it full circle, check in mentally. Where are you at now? Letting go of judgment, letting go of expectation. Being fully present. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. As you feel ready, you can draw your knees towards your chest and making your way over to a side of choice. It doesn't matter what side, but take a breath on your side if you'd like to. Eventually making your way up to a seated position as you feel ready. Your legs can land wherever they want to. If you're comfortable closing eyes, you can keep them closed. And we'll take a breath or two here in seated position, allowing your head to get used to that position change. And from here, we can take arms to heart center with our usual greeting, closing out our class today. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice this afternoon with me. Namaste.
Namaste.